Thank you very much, Randy, and we will go right to our callers now. First up is Orville, listening in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hi, Orville.
Hey, how you doing, Hank?
I'm doing well, thank you.
First off, I want to thank our gracious Lord for giving you and the Christian Research Institute the ability to tell the truth. I pray that He continues blessing you all.
Thank you.
My question is, I've been doing a little bit of studying in regards to Ephesians 6, talking about the full armor of God. I was looking at that and taking each of the pieces of the armor and trying to see about other references within the Bible and in regards to talking about actual protection and against spiritual warfare. I found in Isaiah 59:17 where it talks about the same concept. Am I correct in reading the scripture right, where Ephesians basically ties back to the Old Testament like most of the New Testament does?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right in that, because what you have in Isaiah 59 is God himself girding himself for battle in the same way as a warrior goes forth to uphold justice. And so if you go to that passage, you have the God of truth who puts on righteousness as a breastplate and the helmet of salvation on his head and so forth. So I think the Apostle Paul clearly had these images in his mind as he penned Ephesians chapter 6.
Great deal. All right. Well, like you always say, you want to test what people say in line with what Scripture says and hold fast to what's true. So I use your quotes a lot of times around a lot of people that I talk to. So like I said, I bless you for that. And if you don't mind, I got one quick one. I had a coworker that claimed that Jesus never taught against homosexuality in the Gospels. Now, I used Mark 6, where Jesus was asked about the divorce, and Jesus referred back to Genesis 2:22 and 24 in regards to how the order in which God made humankind and sexuality. Am I correct in saying using that verse in regards to discussing the importance of man-woman relationship?
Yeah, I mean, it's a common suggestion today, the one that you're articulating. Many people are saying that Jesus was personally neutral, or even, some say, affirming of same-sex sexuality. But that's revisionist history at its worst. If you look at the evidence, what you find is that Jesus does not directly address these kinds of issues. He doesn't address incestuous, intergenerational, interspecies, same-sex sexuality. He doesn't do any of that. The Old Testament does, but he clearly reaffirmed every jot and tittle of enduring moral law. And you find Paul doing precisely the same thing. Paul derives his prescriptions against same-sex sexuality in passages like Romans 1 and 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and 1 Timothy chapter 1 from the creation order of Genesis and from the prohibitions of Leviticus. And then he contends this, that even Gentiles without access to direct revelation of Scripture have enough evidence in the natural realm to discover God's aversion to same-sex sexuality. So in the book of Romans, what he does then is he points out there's a perversion, there's a penalty. Now, we have to look at this in a broad scope, and when we do, we immediately recognize that what God is doing is putting borders around our lives, and those borders are there to protect us so that our joy might be complete. That's what Jesus is doing. He's protecting us by saying, if you do this, this will be the consequence. I mean, that's what an owner's manual of a car does as well, although we don't read them anymore. The reality is, if we violate the owner's manual, what happens is the car itself becomes violated. You can't plow a field with a Cadillac. If you do, the Cadillac will break down. And you can't use the body for what it is not designed to be used for. When you do, there is a penalty for the perversion. And that's what the Bible's doing. So it's not trying to single out a group of people. It's simply defining the borders of sexuality so that we may be indeed full of joy, really gay.
And see, I totally agree with you. What the thing was, the person I was talking to wanted to not even include Paul's teachings in regards to it and wanted to say Jesus never taught this. And like you just said, he reaffirmed the order in which God created humankind, man, woman, to be union together.
Of course,
And
yes.
yeah, well, Hank, I thank you, and God continuously bless you in the ministry.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your kind words as well.